Today we are going to learn about dot plots. So in your notebook, go ahead and write down dot plot as the heading. So our first example is going to include the numbers 2, 4, 7, 3, 10, 2, 8, and 8. So again, go ahead and write these numbers down for example 1. When we create dot plots, we need to keep in mind two things. We need to make sure that we put the numbers from least to greatest. And we need to remember to not skip, oops, sorry about that. Not skip numbers. So for this example, I noticed that my smallest number is 2 and my largest number is 10. That means I need to include every number between 2 and 10. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a number line. So just a straight line. Make sure you put arrows on both sides. And then on here, what you need to do is put little hash marks. So here I'm going to put 2, 3, 4, and then you're going to go all the way up to 10. And notice I didn't skip any numbers. I did every single number between 2 and 10. Once you have all of the numbers written, what you're going to do is for every number, you are going to put either a dot or an X. For mine, I'm going to use dots. I'll use a different color. So I'm going to put a dot at number 2. And I just cross it off as I use it so that I don't forget which ones I have left or which ones I've already done. Next, I'm going to put a dot at 4, 7, 3, 10, another one at 2. So when you have a second one or a third one at the same number, just put them right on top of each other, but make sure to leave a space in between so I can tell that there's 2 dots at 2. And then you're going to put one at 8, and then a second one at 8. And so I've marked all of my points. And so now looking at this, notice there's no data at 5, 6, and 9, and that's okay. Just leave it blank. Don't erase those numbers or anything. You can just leave it just like this. And then we'll ask you questions. So if I'm looking at this, I can ask you, what is the smallest number? Well, the smallest number is 2, and the largest is 10. And then I can ask you which numbers have the most points. The most would be 2 and 8 because 2 and 8 both have 2 dots each. I could ask you how many are at least 7. If I ask you at least 7, that means you need to include 7 in everything that's higher than 7. So for this one, at least 7 would be 4. I might ask you how many are less than 4. Less than 4 means that I do not include 4, but I include everything under 4. And for this example, that would be 3 dots. Just remember that at least means including the number, less than or greater than means the number is smaller or larger. We're going to do one more example. So looking at these numbers, I noticed that my smallest number is 14 and my largest number is 22. So I'm going to draw my number line and I'm going to include numbers from 14 all the way to 22. So 14, 15, so 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, and 22. All right, so now I'm going to start putting my dots on the graph. My first one is 21. And remember, you can use dots or X's. 19, 14, 18, 22, 17, 21, and 21. So again, notice 15, 16, and 20 don't have any points, and that's okay. You just still need to remember to put them on the graph. So next I might ask you some questions. My smallest number is 14. My largest is 22. And then the one that has the most, notice here 21 has 3 points. So my most would be 21. And then I'm going to ask you at least 19. And remember, at least means you include the number and then everything that's higher. So I'm going to include my 19, which is 1, and then everything above. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There are 5 points that are at least 19 or higher. Next, I'm going to do less than 18. And less than 18 means everything smaller than 18, not including 18. So I would use my 17 point and my 14 point. That gives me 2 that are at least 18. Or sorry, less than 18. Next, I'm going to do a 1 greater than. I want to know greater than 20. So if I look at greater than 20, you're not going to include 20, you're going to do only bigger than 20. So that includes 21 and 22, which is 4 points.